Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This week I'm actually over in Oklahoma. I'm in the Tulsa area today on business. Just got off work, and my good buddy that you guys have seen on many videos on the channel, Matt, I'm heading over to his house. Now normally when I'm in the area I'm going to head over to Matt's house regardless, because we're good friends. But this is a little bit more of a business trip over to his house. And what I mean by that is, I may just be buying a car from Matt. It's not a car that's for sale publicly. It's for sale to me, if I want to buy it. Which means the world to me that Matt would even consider letting this car go to me, to a good friend. And that's the kind of guy he is. He's only going to sell something like that. The guy's got many cars in his collection, and he doesn't post stuff for sale. Well, cars for sale. Well, he didn't post a lot for sale. He tends to be known as a hoarder. One of the greatest guys I know, great friend. You guys have heard me say that before. But at the end of the day, I am fortunate to have known this guy, and also fortunate that he is offering up this car. Not only the car that it is, but probably what the car means to him, and also below market value. And when I say below market value, I would say considerably below market value. Now guys, I've seen this car several times. Now there's a difference between me seeing the car and looking at the car. I've always just seen the car, and the car looks great, but I've never really looked at the car. And before, of course, before I commit to spend this kind of money on a car, even if it is a great deal, I've got to do my due diligence to make sure it is a good investment, because that's what I would consider this car as a good investment. Now, I'm not going to string you guys along for long. You'll know what kind of car it is here in a minute. But with this also comes a dilemma on my side. If I buy this car, I probably will have to sell the 417 Fox to replenish my bank account. It will not replenish all of it, but to recoup some of the money that I will invest into this car. And this car would actually become the new channel car. And a lot of things we could do with the car, but you guys will see the car here in a bit, because it's probably been 6 months that I've seen it, because I know the last times I've been over to Matt's house, it's been under a cover. So we're really going to go take a look at it. We'll pull the thing out. We might even take it for a spin around the block. I'm just going to really look at this car close. And guys, what this car is, it's a red, black interior, no sunroof, 93 Cobra. Well, boys, I made it over to my buddy's house, and of course we've had to pull the car out, and I've been looking this car over head to toe. And like I told you guys before, this car is a great car. It's got great history. Heck, I know the history for the last, how many years, Matt?
Close to 20.
Close to 20 years that he's owned this car. Got the certificate right here. So this car was 2259. This car is a great example of a very original car that's got its bumps and bruises over the years of dang near a 30-year-old car.
87,000 miles.
87,000 miles on this car.
Before I bought it in 2000.
So how many miles so Matt, come here. You get over here on the camera. So you bought this car 20 years ago.
In Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina, from Aaron Stiles.
Yes, sir.
And how many miles have you put on this car since you bought it?
Probably less than 1,000. Probably.
And all he's done to this car, now this car is actually fairly original. There's not a lot going on. He still has the original H-pipe, the catted H-pipe. It does have an off-road H-pipe on it. It does have an old school Vortec V2 that I'll show you in just a minute. But other than that, the car is, I mean, it's got polished, but those are OE polished wheels,
Right.
which is very common. That's, I wouldn't call that modified. I mean, it's true to form, but it wouldn't be hard at all to take this car right back to 100% stock. And the cool thing is he still has all that stuff. So here is, this gives you any indication, guys. And when you're looking at one of these cars, I know that you can't always know by looking at the odometer true mileage on these cars, but there's a lot of indicators that you can look at, and most of those are usually in the interior. Now I know that can vary a little bit depending on which environment the car was in, but when you look at seat wear and you look at still the bolster here on the seats, and you look at this, not unless the seats have been changed out, but if you look at, it still has the OE carpet in it, the door panels, you look at your pedals to see how much they're wore off. This car still has the factory cassette player in it. So this car is very well represented to be an 80,000 mile car. Look at this. These are, you know, of course, you guys know that just means this car has been indoors most of its life. Here's this old school V2. But Matt still has everything to put this car back to original. The original computer, because this just has an A9L in it right now that's been SCT chipped.
Yep.
For the performance tune. The car, of course, has 42-pound injectors, a higher fuel pump. That's all stuff that's super easy to put back if you wanted to put it back to stock. So as you guys know, a stock 93 Cobra, this is still original ride height. Even the ride height hasn't changed on this car. That's 80,000 miles, and you can document this car to be an 80,000 mile car.
I've got the original headlights.
And these are Ford. These aren't reproduction. These are Ford OE headlights.
20 years ago when they were still available.
Yeah, bought those brand new headlights from Ford 20 years ago.
Yep.
So guys, I have some decisions to make. We're not going to make that decision on this video because I'm not going to make that decision at this point right now. I'm probably going to have to sleep a few nights on if I'm going to buy this car from Matt or not, because I have a lot of stuff to contemplate and decide on. Now Matt knows me, I don't make rash decisions. I'm usually a very calculated, very, you know, methodical.
OCD maybe?
Not me, man. I'm never OCD. So of course, the first thing I would want to do to this car if it was mine, and Matt knows I would drive this car. And I wouldn't drive it a ton, but I would drive this car.
Right.
The car needs a paint job.
Yep.
The car is a great 20-footer. Now, this is one little tip I'm going to give you guys, and I'm not dogging on this car, but this is in any Mustang you go look at. These cars, especially if they have more horsepower than they came with from factory, are notorious from this factory seam right here. When you go look at a car, you can either feel it, and I'm going to show you here on film. Right here is the factory seam. I can feel this one. The other side. Now look guys, this isn't a big deal. This is something that's really common. It's not like there's something wrong with this car. It's just the way Ford made these cars. These unibodies, especially if they don't have subframe connectors on them, when they flex, guess what flexes? Right here. This is the weakest point. And I've seen these cars so bad where they flex so much here, the windshield is popping out.
That's great. Right there.
Holy smokes, Blue Springs, Missouri, which is right down
the street from you.
Yeah, just right down the road from me.
South,
How about that,
Kansas
guys?
City, right?
Yeah. Check this out, guys. Blue Springs, Missouri. Original window sticker on this car. 18,505, and with optional equipment, which was, so the preferred equipment package 250A was $1,455, which was, what did you get? You got the most power equipment group, manual air conditioning, front floor mats, and clear coat paint, license plate bracket,
Power driver's seat.
Power driver's seat and rear window defroster. So basically, the only option this car didn't have was, of course, you could only get leather if you got opal gray, and the only other option would have had, other than that, would have been the block heater.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
That would be the only option this car did not have. So total, $20,379.
Brand new.
Now, do you think I can buy this car for $20,379? Hey, Matt, I'll pay you a sticker for it right now.
I might take
I'll give
it.
you.
You never know.
I'll give you a sticker for the
Let's
car.
have a few more of these and we'll talk about it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, bud. I'm gonna give you guys a little quick peek in here, and I know he's got stuff piled up.
Oh no!
And I was giving him crap for it, but there's the Lightning I restored right there, and I'm like, look at this. It's buried, and it's sitting in there buried. You guys seen this on the video that we picked up the wrecked Lightning on, but he's got some other candy in here too. Not gonna go in there. Matt has a bit of a problem, and I do too. So what year is this truck, Matt?
64.
So you got a 64 and you got a 66 over here.
Yep.
And some super
This has got
sweet.
a 331 with AFR 185s and a 4R70W
Wow.
transmission. Cram dick front end. Truck's been stripped to the frame. Frame's been powder coated and built from the ground up. It's got American Racing soft flats, 17s up front.
Oh yeah, let me show them
18s in
these
the rear.
wheels for sure. This is one of my favorite parts about this truck. Stagger. Oh, look at that.
Trim dick front end, stock 9-inch in the rear. It's got a 460 in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the 460s didn't come stock in 66 F100s, but it's got a 460 and a C6.
So Matt, I'll probably have to continue this video maybe tomorrow, but tell them what is going to happen tomorrow.
So tomorrow, when we get off work,
When we
because
get
you're
off
in town
work,
for
yeah.
work, we're gonna head up to Collinsville to see my buddy Marty Ainsley. Marty's got a Teal 93 Cobra, but Marty also has a S550 that he picked up in Miami, which is a long way from Tulsa, Oklahoma, about 6 months or so ago. Marty's got a twin turbo S550 Beast that I'm going to introduce Michael to, and Marty has agreed to take Michael for a little spin.
Do I need to be nervous?
I'll just say this: it's 1,000 horsepower plus, guys. Like nothing I've ever seen or rode in before.
So So you're saying words do not describe what it feels like.
It will take your breath away.
You guys want to stick around for the rest of this video because you're going to see me in that car, hopefully tomorrow.